You're waiting to feel motivated, inspired, ready. You tell yourself you'll start when you're in the right headspace, when you feel creative, when the energy hits. So you wait and wait. Days turn into weeks, weeks into months. The mood never comes. Or it comes for 5 minutes and vanishes before you can act on it. Meanwhile, life is passing, goals are dying, dreams are collecting dust. Waiting for the right mood isn't preparation, it's procrastination with better PR. Here's the lie you've been sold. You need to feel like doing something before you do it. Motivation comes first, action comes second. That's backwards. Action creates motivation, not the other way around. You don't write because you feel inspired. You feel inspired because you started writing. The mood you're waiting for only shows up after you begin. Think about the last time you actually felt like working out. Probably never, but you went anyway. And 10 minutes in, you felt great. The mood arrived after the action. Your brain doesn't generate feelings in advance. It generates feelings in response. You're waiting for something that can't exist until you move. Your brain tells you it needs the right conditions to work. Perfect environment, perfect energy levels, perfect timing. All lies. Your brain is just avoiding discomfort. Starting something uncomfortable triggers resistance, so your brain invents requirements. It's not that you need the right mood, it's that your brain doesn't want to feel the discomfort of beginning. The mood requirement is an excuse wearing a disguise. Every time you wait for the mood, you're teaching your brain that feelings determine actions, that you only move when it feels good. Your brain learns this lesson fast. Next time, it makes starting feel even worse. Why? Because making you uncomfortable has become a successful strategy for avoiding work. You've trained your brain to weaponize your feelings against you. This hits creative work the hardest. Writers wait to feel inspired. Artists wait to feel creative. Musicians wait to feel the flow. Meanwhile, professionals in these fields, they show up every day regardless of mood. They sit down, they start. Inspiration finds them mid-work, not before it. Stephen King writes 2,000 words every single day, not when he feels like it, every day. Maya Angelou rented a hotel room and went there every morning to write, whether words came or not. Jerry Seinfeld marks an X on his calendar for every day he writes jokes. The chain of X's matters more than the mood. These people didn't become great by waiting for the right feeling. They became great by ignoring feelings entirely. Comment below if you've ever produced your worst creative work while waiting for inspiration. Because the irony is this: the stuff you force yourself to create when you don't feel like it, often better than what you make when inspiration strikes. Discipline beats inspiration. Always has, always will. Here's what actually happens. You start moving. Your body warms up. Blood flows. Brain activity increases. Dopamine starts releasing. 5 minutes in, you feel engaged. 10 minutes in, you're focused. 20 minutes in, you're in flow state. The feeling you were waiting for, it showed up, but only because you started without it. Feelings follow action. They don't lead it. Waiting for motivation to act is like waiting for a car to start moving before you turn the key. The sequence is backwards. You turn the key first. The car moves second. You act first, the feeling comes second. But your brain keeps trying to reverse this because starting without feeling ready is uncomfortable, and your brain's entire job is avoiding discomfort. This is why the first 2 minutes of anything are torture. Your brain is throwing everything at you to stop. Once you push through those 2 minutes, resistance drops. The work becomes easier. Not because the task changed, because your neurochemistry changed. You shifted from anticipating discomfort to experiencing engagement. The feeling you were waiting for, it showed up, but only because you started without it. You're waiting for perfect conditions, the right amount of sleep, the right level of stress, the right time of day. Conditions are never perfect. There's always something off. Too tired, too distracted, too busy, too stressed, too relaxed. You're not waiting for perfect conditions. You're waiting for an excuse that sounds better than "I didn't feel like it." Meanwhile, people getting things done, working with terrible conditions, tired, stressed, distracted, they work anyway because they know conditions don't determine output. Action determines output. Conditions only matter if you let them matter. You've given your circumstances veto power over your behavior. They're using it. The perfect condition is starting. That's it. The moment you begin, conditions improve. Your energy rises, your focus sharpens, your motivation builds. But none of that happens while you're waiting. The feeling you were looking for only exists on the other side of starting. You have to walk into the dark to find the light. Let's be honest, you're not waiting for the right mood. You're afraid. Afraid it won't be good, afraid you'll fail, afraid you'll prove you're not as capable as you pretend to be. So you wait, because waiting feels safer than trying and failing. As long as you haven't started, you haven't failed. Your potential remains intact, untested but unblemished. Comment if fear of failure has ever disguised itself as waiting for the right mood, because that's what this is. Fear, dressed up as patience, masquerading as preparation. You're not being strategic, you're being scared. And that's fine. Fear is human. But don't lie to yourself about what's happening. Call it what it is. The irony? Waiting makes failure more likely. You build it up in your head. The stakes grow. The pressure mounts. By the time you finally start, you're so stressed about it that you actually do perform worse. You created the outcome you feared by trying to avoid it. Waiting didn't protect you. It guaranteed what you were afraid of. Professionals don't feel like working most days. They work anyway. Amateurs work when they feel like it. Professionals work especially when they don't. That's the entire difference. Amateurs are controlled by feelings. Professionals control feelings through action. Amateurs wait for motivation. Professionals generate it by starting. This is why consistency beats intensity. The person who writes 500 words every day will outproduce the person who writes 5,000 words when inspired, because inspiration is rare, daily action is reliable, feelings are weather, actions are climate. Weather changes hourly. Climate is what you can count on. Build your life on climate, not weather. You're not waiting to feel ready. You're waiting for a feeling that will never arrive while you're waiting. Readiness is created by doing, not by waiting. You become ready by starting before you're ready. That's the only way it works. Here's how you break this. Commit to 2 minutes. Not the whole task, just 2 minutes. Your brain can handle 2 minutes of discomfort. Start for 2 minutes. If you still hate it after 2 minutes, stop. But here's what happens. You won't stop, because starting is the hard part. Continuing is easy. Once you're in motion, staying in motion takes less energy than stopping. This works because your brain stops fighting once you prove you're actually doing it. The resistance is pre-action. The negotiation happens before you start. Once you start, your brain gives up and helps you anyway. It shifts from preventing mode to optimizing mode. But you have to call its bluff by starting anyway. 2 minutes removes the overwhelm. You're not committing to finishing, you're committing to beginning. That's manageable. That's doable. That's something you can do even when you don't feel like it. And once you do it, the mood you are waiting for shows up. Every single time. Motivation is not a prerequisite for action. It's a result of action. You're treating it like a resource you need to gather before you can move. It's not. It's a byproduct you generate by moving. You don't wait for sweat before exercising. Sweat happens because you exercised. Motivation happens because you acted. Every day you wait is a day you could have been building momentum. Every day you wait for the mood is a day the mood doesn't come. You're not waiting for the right time. You're wasting the only time you have. There is no right mood. There's only now. And right now, you have a choice. Keep waiting for a feeling that only arrives after you start, or start and watch the feeling arrive. Waiting for the right mood is how dreams die quietly. Waiting is the slowest form of giving up. It's quitting while convincing yourself you're preparing. Stop waiting. Start terrible. Start tired. Start unprepared. Just start. The mood will follow. It always does. Subscribe if you're done waiting for feelings to give you permission.